Somewhere in the Sahara Desert, painted on the wall of a cave that nobody knew existed for thousands of years, is one of the most bizarre images in all of human history. A figure, half man, half bee, with mushrooms spouting directly out of his body. This painting is between 7,000 and 9,000 years old, and it is almost certainly a portrait of the world's first doctor. Except, he wasn't practicing medicine. He was getting high. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Humans were deliberately using powerful psychedelic drugs thousands of years before anyone invented formal medicine, before doctors, before hospitals, before we even understood what disease actually was. So why? Why did we go straight to drugs first? And what does the answer tell us about medicine and drugs today? Let's start with the timeline, because the gap here is genuinely staggering. The oldest evidence of deliberate psychedelic drug use? 7,000 to 9,000 years ago. Mushroom shamans painted on cave walls in Algeria. Peyote cactus residue found in Texas dating back to 3,700 BC. Ancient hair strands from a Spanish burial cave testing positive for multiple hallucinogenic substances, 3,000 years old. Now, formal medicine. When did that start? The first known physician, a man named Imhotep in ancient Egypt, appears around 2600 BC. Hippocrates, the guy we call the father of modern medicine, wasn't born until 460 BC. And medicine that actually worked on a scientific basis, not magic and prayer, only really emerged a few hundred years ago. The gap between when humans started deliberately using powerful psychedelic substances and when they started formally practicing medicine is thousands of years wide. We were getting high first, by a long shot. Let's go back to that cave painting. Tassili Niger, Algeria, a remote cave in the middle of the Sahara, hidden from the modern world for millennia. Inside, someone painted a figure unlike anything you'd expect from a 9,000-year-old human. Half man, half bee. Mushrooms literally growing out of his body. Researchers identified the mushrooms as psilocybe, the same genus as what we call magic mushrooms today. This wasn't decoration. This wasn't random doodling. This was a portrait of someone important, someone powerful. A shaman, a spiritual leader who used these mushrooms deliberately to enter altered states of consciousness. And here's the part that matters. The shaman wasn't just getting high for fun, he was doing it to heal people. In ancient cultures across every continent, the same pattern emerged independently. A spiritual leader, a specific psychoactive plant, and a ritual designed to access something beyond normal human perception. Not for recreation, for medicine. He was the doctor, and the drug was the prescription. Here's what makes this genuinely mind-blowing. This didn't happen in just one place. It happened everywhere, completely independently. In the Americas, the Aztecs were using peyote and psychedelic mushrooms in religious and healing rituals, documented by Spanish missionaries in the 1560s. When Columbus's crew arrived in Haiti, they found the Taino people inhaling a psychoactive snuff called jojoba, made from a plant containing DMT, one of the most powerful hallucinogens known to science. In Europe, researchers found a Spanish burial cave from 3,000 years ago where ancient shamans were using atropine and scopolamine, two powerful hallucinogenic compounds. The visions produced by these substances were described by researchers as violent and unpleasant. In Asia, cannabis has been used since at least 4000 BC across multiple cultures, both as a ritual substance and as a rudimentary medicine. No contact between these cultures, no shared history, no way they could have compared notes, and yet every single civilization on Earth independently arrived at the exact same conclusion. Certain plants, when consumed, produce experiences that are useful, spiritually, psychologically, and medically. That's not coincidence. That's something built into us. Now here's where the story gets darker. Because these substances weren't always used gently or willingly. Archaeologists discovered psychoactive drugs in the preserved remains of a sacrificed Nazca child in Peru. These weren't adults making informed spiritual choices. Drugs were woven into some of the most extreme rituals ancient cultures practiced, including human sacrifice. And the shamans themselves weren't exactly having a good time either. Those European shamans using atropine and scopolamine? They weren't doing it to feel good. They were doing it because they believed it gave them access to something beyond ordinary human perception. Healing, wisdom, contact with forces that could help the people around them. Whether that belief was correct is a different question, but the commitment was real. Here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. After thousands of years of dismissing ancient drug use as superstition, primitive ritual, or just people getting high, modern science is now proving the shamans were onto something real. In the 1950s, after LSD was discovered by a Swiss chemist named Albert Hofmann, psychiatrists started realizing these substances had genuine therapeutic potential. Psilocybin, the compound in magic mushrooms, the exact same thing the 9,000-year-old cave painter was using, showed remarkable results in treating depression, PTSD, and end-of-life anxiety. Then governments, spooked by the 1960s counterculture, made all of it illegal. Decades of research shut down overnight. The potential was shelved. But today, researchers call it the psychedelic renaissance. Clinical trials are actively underway using psilocybin, MDMA, and ketamine to treat conditions that conventional medicine has struggled with for decades. The first shaman in that Algerian cave wasn't just getting high. He was, in the most primitive, imperfect, spiritually framed way, practicing medicine. We just spent thousands of years forgetting that and are only now remembering it. So let's bring it all together. Humans were deliberately using powerful psychedelic substances at least 9,000 years ago, thousands of years before formal medicine even existed. Every civilization on Earth arrived at this independently, with no contact between them. The same plants, the same rituals, the same belief that altered states of consciousness could heal people. The first doctors were shamans. The first prescriptions were mushrooms, peyote, and hallucinogenic plants. And after thousands of years of dismissing all of that as primitive superstition, modern science is now proving they were right. Drugs didn't come before medicine by accident. For most of human history, they were the same thing. If that one changed how you see things a little, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more than you think. And if you're not subscribed to Dr. Humanil yet, now's a good time, because we've got a lot more questions like this one coming, and the answers only get wilder from here. See you on the next one.